get to the lymphatics here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way.
And he's like, okay. But anyways.
He was probably imagining something different.
I don't know. But it was funny because I went to put my bra back on, and it was, I mean, it was a Torelli designed bra, but it only had like 2 little straps between the 2 cups, and one of them broke.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, okay. She's doing this today.
They don't build them like those Victoria's Secret early 2000s bras anymore.
I mean, those things are just stuffed.
I can tell. I could tell. I mean, those will be 20 years old and they're still looking good. I'm like, Victoria's Secret, early 2000s?
Styrofoam. You just like flick them.
Man, I got some of those that have lasted forever. Whether they had the padding or not, either way. I don't know, they were just built different. Target for like the end of the 20 teens was using the same company for their swimsuits and stuff. I wonder what happened to that company because they were the best. Other stuff you like wear twice and it's broken. These have like lasted, like stood the hands of time.
You're like,
hello, darlings. How's it going? We're doing another non-invasive face sculpting session today. Are you sore from last time?
it was so good. My neck feels so amazing after whatever you did last time.
Yes, so this is different than like a regular facial. You're going to see real, sometimes even better than surgical results with this. And it really does everything. So the same treatment, we can help with acne, we can help with wrinkles, we can help with skin tone, all of that kind of stuff. And with the non-invasive face sculpting, it also includes your neck and your décolletage. It's not so much that even including, we can't properly do this treatment without activating those areas. Still a little tight over here, but better than last week for sure.
Yeah.
So have you had a busy week? The Karens have been out in full force today.
I haven't. It's not been too bad. It's been busy, but not really.
Okay.
I saw a lot of random like cancellations. Like people going to like needing to take pads or like people to like med checks and like emergency ER things.
Like bad, like thoughts and prayers type of cancellations. That's no good.
Yeah, it's like okay, well. No, are you having Karens?
So it's Carmel homecoming.
Oh, is that why there's no parking on the street?
Correct. Yeah, thank goodness we finally have a parking lot. Oh my goodness. But I was driving like literally just from like the main part of Main Street, like the Fountain to Range Line, and I saw 2 Karen fights today. Like, I don't know what they were fighting about, but they were pointing, yelling. One of them had a dog that was yapping. It was getting in on the Karen. She had a Karen dog. I have no idea what they were yelling about, but it was giving Karen. And that was like this morning, so I don't even know when the homecoming is. Last year I made the mistake of like walking home to lunch, you know?
Oh, yeah, they're close by. No, I shouldn't say that online.
Yeah, I mean, like I can walk there. You know, it's not a short walk.
But you can.
But I can if I have enough time and go like walk the dogs, whatever. So yeah, I had a bit of a longer lunch, and then I start walking back, and I'm like, couldn't even get there on foot. I think I did. There's another year I tried to drive back, and I just ended up parking somewhere. And like, I'll just walk the rest of the way. Oh, I love you guys too. Hello, hi from America, or Armenia. I was like, we're also in America. Hello, Armenia. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, the face is moving so much better last time. The first 3 sessions are always demolition days.
Destroying it. You're
joining us from the ghetto? Awesome, King Blue. Add a little luxury to your life, even if it's just from your phone screen, you know? And you don't, it doesn't even have to be live. We have so many videos you can just like pretend like you were there and still comment. Go check out the lives, they're the most fun. You're from Central America? Where in Central America? I love palm trees and coconuts and fruit. Yeah, it's really important when you work on others to make sure that you're, letting other people work on you, because sometimes we can build up a lot of toxic energy that's not even ours. It's like from other people. I also love to do the vibration plate for that in between clients. Sometimes that really helps shake it off. Shake it off.
Shake,
it
shake,
off.
shake, shake,
Shake it off. Do we have any Swifties in the chat?
Next week is her album release.
Oh, she's got a new one out?
Yeah, October 3rd.
Is she pregnant?
No.
Or just married?
I think she's engaged.
Engaged, gotcha. He's a handsome guy, huh? He's a handsome fella.
That's what I do between clients. I just take it off.
Yeah. You know, back when I was young, they would tell us they would say, hey, stop doing that. You look retarded. Now you're not allowed to say that word anymore. And now they celebrate that. They're like, hey, are you having too much energy? Go like this. And I'm like, really? Really? Now we're promoting that. But when I was a kid, you're calling me names. Sure. Whatever.
It does, though. It releases all
It does. And like, I think neurodivergent people just naturally knew to do that. And then people were making fun of us.
To be fair, a lot of things we naturally know how to heal our bodies are told not to do.
I so agree. Absolutely. So I am 38 years old. I'll be 39 in March. And we just keep aging backwards here, baby. We don't even want to say backwards, because backwards, I'm like much healthier now than I was backwards. So we are aging brilliantly and better every day. 38 years young, that's right.
I think the more you heal, the more you feel better. And
oh, absolutely. Like the state of your inside is totally helps the state of your outside. We do like a lot of Reiki energy healing, help with that kind of stuff. But, you know, therapy, like what they do at Attuned Wellness, is totally different. They work together, but they're totally different things, you know? So...
yeah. The processing of emotions.
Yes, we don't do that. We just like we're clearing out the energy in between. So like maybe like when you go to see your therapist, it'll be easier to sort through the emotions with them. You know what I mean? But sometimes we will have people come in for energy healing, and they're thinking it's going to be therapy, and so that's a common explanation that we have to make. And it's important if you're coming to an energy healer like that, and you're showing therapy stuff, it's important to get with a therapist too, because I will tell people that, but then they'll expect me to like fix their problems. I'm like, I don't do that. I do this. They can complement that, but not that. Same thing with the body stuff. When I'm like working on like joints, we're getting rid of scar tissue, reducing inflammation, getting like the lymph to flow around those areas, breaking down cellulite that can get in the way of mobility. Then a lot of times if people have that kind of stuff going on, they could really use the help of a chiropractor, because the chiropractor does bones. But they might feel a lot of times more instant relief what we are doing, but it all works together. If your bones are all jacked up and you don't do exercises, physical therapy, chiropractor, whatever you need to get that in alignment, you're still going to bring back those same toxins to the areas where you keep getting toxins, So it all goes together. She's not my daughter. Maybe in another life, who knows?
I'm only 4 years younger than you. That'd be really awkward. No, yeah. It's important. You gotta process through the emotions we feel.
And when you don't,
it gets stuck in your face.
It does get stuck in your face.
That's
so
why you work on my face.
Absolutely. And sometimes when you're working with others, their emotions will get stuck in the face. It's not even ours. So it's important to like clear that out. And if you keep getting wrinkles in the same area, it's usually attached to some kind of emotion, some kind of trauma, some kind of, thing that you're doing that's making you bring those unpleasant feelings on your face. And that stuff gets trapped in the face. So it's always fun when we can do other kind of healings that maybe is not necessarily confronting that directly, but it's helping to clear out those emotions. But I can clear all the emotions out of the face if you don't go through and process them. It can keep coming back. So it's important part to heal the inside out. I know the one little line that I get in like the TMJ and clenching, I've talked about this in videos for years. comes from like PTSD and having crazy nightmares in my sleep, and that's when I'm making that face. So, you know, when we can get that healed, then I'll have to stop working on my face so much. You know? Oh, I had a crazy nightmare. I know I'm gonna have to iron out that wrinkle today.
Yeah. It can. I mean, anything can be stuck in the body.
Yeah, stuck anywhere in the body.
I've heard stories of like people doing EMDR, so movement desensitization and reprocessing, and they're like being in a car accident where they broke their arm. And during processing, they'll feel their arm feel like it's like in that much pain again.
I've had that happen through like past life regression stuff before. And it was crazy because I was doing a skin tightening on my stomach in this area, and I was like, man, this hurts really bad. And then I did this, it's like almost like it's like a quantum energy hypnosis type of, and it's not necessarily for past lives. It just, that's what came up in that session. And I remembered a past life where, you know, that was like the final blow. And literally, like, I popped up out of like the hypnosis, and I could feel the pain in that area. There was 2 areas, and that memory shot back from like 2 days before when I was sculpting that out of my body. But I was like, why are these spots on my stomach always coming back? You know what I mean? It feels like a little fibrosis, but it's actually like a knot in your fascia, and your fascia has its own nervous system, so it can respond to apparently past life stuff too, any kind of trauma that's stuck in there.
Oh yeah.
I also feel like a lot of past life stuff, if we don't heal that, we're going to keep bringing up, like, imagine that as like a challenge in a video game, right? And you have to pass the video game. And I think it helps me a lot when it comes to like energy healing, is kind of coming outside of the situation, like putting the emotions, like I'm watching it from above, like I'm in a Sims game, right? Like this is my little avatar. And I'm like, okay, what is the purpose of this game? What is the best outcome of this game? Okay, do I even want to play this game? And asking myself that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's better to just like...
Sometimes we're not ready to process things.
That's, I mean, yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're getting into, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you process things in layers. And you're like, dang it, I thought I was mostly healed from that. No. And sometimes being high functioning in certain ways doesn't mean you're like all the way healed from things.
No, and the other thing is what's going to trigger you when you're 16 is not the same that triggers you when you're 66.
Can you give us some examples of what those things might be, how those things might be different?
Well, when you're 16, you're like really with your friend group, but like if you say for like 66 or 96, then your spouse dies, it's going to bring up a whole different set of emotions that you didn't know were so shoved down in there.
And those can trigger other emotions from like childhood and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like new traumas, I feel like can trigger old traumas.
Yeah, that's very much what it is, right?
It's like now they're all friends together working against me.
They compound together.
That's a compound.
Yeah, or like if you have kids and all of a sudden if you want kids or have kids, and all of a sudden like things that didn't bother you, you're like, oh my god, why did this happen in my childhood? Like comes up.
Oh.
Even if you processed it, because you view it in a different light now.
Yeah, that's why learning different coping skills and taking care of yourself is so important. So if you do have CPTSD and you get any of those triggers, you know, you have the coping skills to like, you know, get back to yourself quickly, you know?
Pretty much.
Like I might have a little, especially with the autism ADHD too, I might have a little like trigger, a little outburst, whatever, a little meltdown. But I know I'll go start organizing my crystals and cleaning them, I'll start moving them in the energy. I think there's like some kind of like Asian feng shui thing. It was like if you move like 27 pieces of something in your space, like it changes up your reality or whatever, some kind of feng shui or something like that principle. So I just move around my crystals, I'll clean things.
It sounds like it helps you get unstuck.
Yeah. It's like, let me sort out something like that's easy, and then I can at least get my mind on like a sorting out way so I can go look at harder situations. Does that make sense? No, it didn't make sense, did it?
I got what you were saying.
You did, yeah.
No, I think it's, sometimes we just need to change, I think it's like, I don't know, it's some science thing, like one small change in one area has like massive change in another.
Right, yeah. And it's good to like get out of your head with like, you know, situations like that. So have a balance, a little self-care, a little action.
Yeah.
You had those cool poppets at the Fitness Fest thing.
Yeah, people love
What did you call them?
They're just poppets. Like
Poppet.
I think, yeah, I mean, they're so fun. I mean, they just put energy from your hands into like a...
Yeah, it's like a positive fidget thing. Instead of like biting your nails. Like I always have to have my nails done because otherwise I will bite them. It's not so much about biting them. I don't bite them, but I'm constantly picking at them because I'm OCD about them being super clean. And then and braid my hair. That was like a constructive thing when I would do weird things with my hands. I learned how to like braid my hair with like my finger and my thumb in class, like 3 different ways. So my hair was like my fidget spinner. But as an adult, sometimes I'll just be like playing with my hair like it's a stimming thing. And then I'm practicing like making eye contact and having a conversation, and then people think I'm flirting with them.
Sounds like you're just trying to come and people are like, hey.
I'm like, dang it. I'm trying to make eye contact, ask questions, and then they're playing with the hair.
You're like, we're doing too much right now.
I know. Yeah, sometimes when I feel overstimulated, but I know I'm going to have to like go to work and look people in the eyes, I wear glasses or sunglasses. I even did my friend's podcast with sunglasses on because I knew she paid for that studio time, but it was just like the tism was tisming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go make eye contact with the camera and all these things. And dude, I tried my eye makeup 5 different ways. I swear my eyes were looking weird. It's like no. So then I put on some mirrored sunglasses. I also like the mirrored sunglasses because when I'm like that, because people are only looking at themselves in them. You know, you can have some dark lenses, but they can still kind of see your eyes a little bit.
Unless you're compared, don't use the mirrored sunglasses to play poker.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. I don't play poker, but that's a great idea.
I saw a meme of that. Apparently she played poker with like mirrored sunglasses, and people were like, that's probably not the right idea.
Unless you could program the mirrored sunglasses to not actually be mirrors, but to be LED screens giving off different cards. Reverse Uno. Reverse Uno. Wow, girl. You talking awfully crazy for somebody who hasn't seen a dentist in a while. Maybe change your profile picture to just a letter or something if you're going to come troll. But we do love the trolls. I appreciate you for crawling out from under your bridge today to spend some time with us. Yep, see, that Allah, that's something, a great example of what we're not going to do. Allah said, give them a kiss on the cheek. Literally, our last episode was a lot about erotic transference and boundaries. So that would be like, you know, what do they call those things? Like emotional sensitivity coaching, but like for, you know, sexual people or whatever. Like, that's something we don't do to the clients. Absolutely not. That's something you shouldn't ask your healthcare or wellness providers to give you as well. It's very inappropriate.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. They just said a joke, said, what are boundaries? Great question. I'm going to let the licensed healthcare professional give you a...
Right. So boundaries are things that you do, you set not roles and expectations. You kind of have these things where you don't want people to break your boundary. The worst at describing boundaries, to be honest. But boundaries are things that we have in place so that we protect who we are and what we want out of life. Right? Like, if Ella all of a sudden starts poking me in the eye, that's breaking my boundary of poking me in the eyeball.
Right, exactly.
Like, I would probably tell her to stop, and hopefully she would listen. And the issue is when boundaries aren't respected, it creates, like, a lot of ruptures in relationships and causes a lot of issues. Both in the fact you can have too lax of boundaries, if I just let her keep doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if I told her no and don't let her touch anywhere near my eyeballs, because I think she could. Which clearly I'm letting her touch near my eyeballs as she touches them.
Yeah.
So boundaries are just things that are there to protect us, either emotionally, physically. You have intellectual boundaries, right? If, like, you write code and you like have a code, your boundary is no one can use it without like paying X amount of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
So we can use boundaries in so many different ways.
Boundaries are like, making an agreement, any kind of agreement. Hey, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this. We've agreed to the boundaries. This is what we're agreeing upon. Agreements are good,
Yeah. And you can have boundaries and people may not know them, and then they'll break them, and then you have to communicate.
Right. Okay, can you give a good example of that?
Right? If I don't tell Ella she can't touch my face and starts touching my face, right? I just then have to say, like, hey, I don't want you to touch my face, which clearly I don't care if she's touching my face as we do this face sculpting. But that was weird.
Whatever. Feel a little bumps?
Yeah. So, right, like, those are kind of the boundaries. I do think sometimes we overuse boundaries in society.
How so?
Because a boundary is not necessarily, like...
Like the word boundary or boundaries in general?
Like the word boundary.
Oh, okay. Like maybe there should be other words for different things.
Right, because I can't... Like, a boundary is, like, I never let anyone be late because, really, I can't tell you what to do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I have the expectation that you're not going to be late.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, things happen, as long as it's, like, reasonable.
Yeah.
But some people do get off on just, like, intentionally, like, let me find out what your boundaries are to see if I can break them. Like, that's a little game that they play.
Yeah, you should hang out with a 2-year-old if you want to figure out how that works. Or teenagers, they like to push boundaries. No, so those are boundaries. We all have them. Right, you have boundaries on live streams. If someone's really harassing you, you can kick them off.
Yeah, it's a great example of boundaries, Like if someone no-shows to like their appointment more than once, Well, I mean, like you should always let people know, but less than 24 hours. It's just like, okay. Well, now the new boundary is you're paying full price for your appointment, and if you don't show up, I'm keeping it.
Yeah, that is a boundary. People get mad about that boundary a lot with any kind of person who has that. Like,
right, exactly.
It's so aggressive. You're like, oh well, I didn't show. Why do I have to pay?
Because somebody else would have happily taken that spot and paid me. So you're paying for my time whether you show up or not. Period.
Yeah. And things do happen, right? Like
things do. Yeah, I'm like usually super lenient. You know what I mean? But there's times where people are just like straight disrespectful.
Right. If I called you on my way in and said, "Hey, I got into a car accident."
Yeah, of course. Well, stuff happens. Whatever. I usually give people like one freebie, but you gotta like communicate with respect after that.
Yeah.
But then also, like, you have to, when it comes to, like, lack of boundaries, sometimes if you're constantly seeing the same behavior from the same person and it's consistently, breaking your boundaries, the longer you stay giving that person your time and energy, then the more you're guaranteed to have that same disappointing experience, Obviously, with your kids and stuff, you can't just, like, block them out. But, 1, 2, 3 times, probably good to get a mental health care professional involved to help you guys communicate and, live a happy, prosperous home life, right?
The other thing with that is parents are there. Parents are raising, you're not raising kids, you're raising adults.
Mm-hmm. Little humans.
Little humans who need to learn about boundaries, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of moms that'll get the vibration plate, and if they have like 3 kids or more, I'm like, okay, have you been using your vibration plate? No, I can't. Every time I get on it, my kids hop on here with me. And I was like, what a great opportunity to teach your children about boundaries. When mommy's on the vibration plate, you stay on the other side of this line or whatever. One of my friends' moms, she had a daycare when they were growing up, and she had trained these babies, infants, still crawling. Like if the FedEx man came to the door, there was like an entry and then there was like a line of carpet. Like she trained them to like not get off the carpet. Like she'd have all these like 4 babies crawling up to the door waiting like little puppies. It was like, wow. Fortunately, she's retired, or, if I had kids, I'd be sending her to her.
Good for her for retiring. Yeah, so we sometimes have to teach people boundaries or like explain what our expectations are in relationships and stuff. And sometimes things can feel unfair, and that's conversations we have to have.
Yeah, sometimes the best you can do is between a rock and a hard place and try to navigate through it, you know. Pick the worst decision or the best worst decision.
Yeah, because everyone's boundaries are different, and sometimes where my boundary ends is not the same where your boundary.
Not meeting. Yeah. They're not connecting, so it's okay. There's lots of people out in the world, you know. What are the kind of coping mechanisms that you use to like teach like children who you're teaching boundaries? Because I feel like a lot of these things we can teach it to ourselves even as adults as we would teach it to a child. Like we're teaching our own inner child how to do it. It's easier to understand.
There's actually, if I wasn't laying down, we could actually do it. But one of the fun activities you can do, it's kind of like the game chicken. Do you know what that is? Like where you kind of, until someone, like, you just kind of go at each other until someone stops. Anyways, you kind of walk and you walk until someone tells you to stop, like until they're uncomfortable with how close you are to them. So like just practicing actually telling someone stop with like physical boundaries. Or a great way kids learn boundaries is, you know the no-no song?
No, sing the no-no song for us.
This is my, I forget how it goes. It's like, this is my no-no zone.
Okay, sing it.
This is my no, I don't know how it goes, Ella. But it goes
this is my no-no zone.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like,
no, what's the next part?
I have no idea. No one touches the no-no zone, like the square, and it's like
don't be touching the no-no zone.
I like your version better. But it's like a square of like
this
from
square is my no-no zone.
Yep, where your bathing suit parts are covered, where the bathing suit covers.
If you touch me, I'll break your nose. That's the Ella Bardo version.
Probably not the worst version, right? So like we do silly things like that to teach kids physical boundaries. Mm-hmm. Or like when siblings fight, like teaching them like, hey, your sibling didn't like that you stole their toy and called them stupid.
Oh. And I think it's important like to explain that as kids too, because sometimes kids, you know, especially in different households, grow up different, and they might see that as like a form of playing, where the other child will see that as a form of trauma they will remember till they're 50, 60 years old.
Yeah. The other thing is we can do, I'm not a parent. Mm-mm. But the thing that parents can do a lot is respect kids, teach kids that their boundaries are respected. So I love that. So like, right, if you have teenagers and they're like, I don't want you to go through my phone, but the parents need to see like one thing. Just being like, okay, can you show me this one thing and I won't go through the rest of your phone.
Oh, that's good.
So like respecting kids' boundaries when they try to set them. Else we end up with a whole generation of people who just let anyone do anything to them.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No. And respecting privacy, right? Like as kids get older, they want more and more privacy.
Mm-hmm. And
not just like barging in their door without knocking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So like things like that. So really part of teaching kids boundaries and respecting them is actually just respecting your kids' boundaries when they say it. But there are things you have to do that like break people's boundaries.
And now, okay, so now obviously if somebody's, you know, they're requesting boundaries, but they're doing bad things, you know what I mean? What is like a healthy way to approach that? Like they're sneaking out of the house. Say they're sneaking out of the house and...
But that you're no longer... Because boundaries are good if we're being respectful, but the moment we come... Like, right, if you're respecting my boundaries and all of a sudden I do something that makes you...
It's like you broke the agreement. You broke the contract.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right, kids sneaking out. One is kind of developmentally appropriate.
What?
It's kind of developmentally appropriate to sneak out on some degree.
Okay. What if they're getting in trouble?
Then no, but...
What if they're going to sneak out and go get pregnant?
Yeah, that can
And do some drugs? Why else would you be sneaking out? I mean, we used to sneak out when we were Mormon, but I was just talking about that the other day. And do, like, pranks on people. Like, toilet papering houses and stuff. So we were definitely not doing anything too crazy bad, but...
No, the thing is, because teenagers want to expand boundaries and find their identity. So some of that is natural. It's actually fascinating with technology right now because everyone has like 360 or like location sharing. So kids aren't getting away with this much anymore.
Oh yeah. They didn't have like cameras everywhere like they do now.
Yeah.
You could have just assumed you were always being filmed all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I don't mind like having a rough day on the camera because somebody's probably going to catch me and film me anyway. So just make it easy. You know, you don't even have to catch me. You can catch it real easy if you go to ellabardo.com or follow the YouTube channel, and then you can just screenshot all the bad pictures of me. Make it so easy for you. But make sure you send it to your friends so you can all laugh together and watch them completely. Because if there's one funny moment that you can laugh at me for, there's probably many.
And it makes everything more human.
It does. And it's okay, because other people are like, why do you wear makeup? Look, there's plenty of videos of both. Because sometimes we like makeup. It's okay to like makeup. You don't have to shame people for liking that.
No.
Sometimes I don't wear anything at all, and you can see a zit on my face. It depends on the day. Depends on the day. I'm a human, not an AI. I'm not a bot.
You don't filter everything.
I don't filter everything. You can't even filter things on the YouTube live stream, so. But sometimes also you just want some good lighting because you want to take that memory and remember it very well, and not have to be like, oh, look at all those ugly shadows on my face because this place didn't have perfect lighting and we didn't have a lighting team, you know? Because how you're seeing somebody's face is not frozen with certain shadows on it either. You're seeing it, it's movement, da-da-da-da-da. But, and some of the places that I think I have the best lighting that I like to enjoy the atmosphere, like the lower, like amber, like warmer lighting, is ugly lighting when you take pictures, you know? So it's all fine. It's all fine.
We're all humans.
We're all humans. Most of us, at least. Most of us.
I guess they do make AI models now.
I was thinking about that this morning when I was putting on my makeup and stuff. I was like, I wonder how that's going to work with our like reticular activating system, where everything is like, when we live with like the bots and the cyborgs and stuff, but they don't get acne, they don't get zits, they don't ever have to put makeup on because it's like built in. So I wonder what that's gonna do to our brain and how it forms. So this is the Ella Bardo Black Label.
So fancy with your own Black Label.
Black Label. The Detox Mask. We love this. So this is going to help take away redness. It's going to help suck out toxins through the skin. And then we're also going to be putting her under the electric mask, of course. We're going to put her under the Frequency-Specific Microcurrent. And that's going to, let's see, what color should we do? I think we're going to do the lymph stasis, the one. So the lymph stasis is for lymph that is stuck. And we do have some spots around the neck where that pathway is from the head down that could use a little loosening up before we take the magic wands to her face. Have you had any weird dreams lately? Do you remember your dreams?
I like have weird dreams and then I like know they're weird, but
don't remember like details?
Yeah. Also at night I had a dream though. It was like New Year's Eve and there was these 2 stray dogs and they had like like fatty lumps on dog skin.
Yeah, Mr. Lou has lumps. Mr. Lumpy Lou. He's 10.
They apparently had all these, and I was like, oh my god, no one's gonna want these poor puppies. And I was like, we should do something. And then, like, the next moment in my dream, they had, like, perfectly groomed.
Aww. They groomed the lumps off. You gotta tell me where that grooming place is. Mr. Lou needs it. I was feeding them, like, some kind of powder to help with it, but when I had the machine at home, you know, they were getting smaller, but I can't take him into the spa, and I'm not taking the machine back and forth, so we just got to get a new jade machine. That's why we have amazing sales right now. Amazing.
Oh, what happened to your machine?
What
happened to your machine?
I mean, it's like almost 12 years old for one, but I kind of stepped on the cord and it fell on its face, so.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unfortunate. There was already a short in it, but it like made the short extra short. I used to be able to like flip it a few times and get it to work. So yeah, now we just need a new one. We actually need 3 more because I had 2 more on my list so I could have them for the couples room. So now we need 3. So amazing sales till the end of the year. I'm envisioning myself with a brand new jade machine by my bed so we can start doing more live streams in the bed more often because I would do my face sculpting and stuff in there. I made my bed into like my office because that's when I'm like honestly the most productive. Like I just wake up, pee, brush my teeth, get some water, go sit back in bed. And like I was working from like 7 a.m. to like 11 this morning without leaving the bed or getting dressed. Then take a shower and do the things and show up to work. And we did my makeup for you guys today because, you know, The last 2 days, it was a little raggedy. It happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us. So I was like, you know what? Can't do 3 raggedy days in a row.
Like, I can't.
We'll do a little something real quick. Huh. All right, so now we're going to put our little magic wands in here. Oh, remember when I was telling you about the song that I wrote? The children's song? Hands and keys, balls and knees.
No.
No, I didn't tell you that one. We found a different word for balls finally.
Oh.
I had to ask all my parents. Okay. I'll have to show you when you're out from under the towel. Look, do you see the shirt? Jesus already loves me. So maybe you need Jesus. Maybe that's projection. But you're in luck because we happen to be here with my good friend, owner of Attuned Wellness, and she's a mental health professional.
So I say you need Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm literally wearing a shirt that says Jesus loves me. They said it multiple times. So could you give us an example of what is projection?
Me?
Yeah.
When we feel something and say someone else feels it.
When we say something and then we say someone else feels it.
Or when we're feeling something and we assume it's someone else. For example, if I'm angry and say, oh, you're just really mad at this other person because they cut you off, it could be because I'm mad.
Ah, gotcha.
Or if you're feeling stuck and you're like telling someone, like, oh, you should do this, this, and this because you feel stuck and they really don't feel stuck. It's because you actually feel stuck.
Oh, yeah. It can be hard to communicate with people like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, do you work with people who maybe don't realize they're projecting?
Sure, because we all have unconscious things.
Okay. And then how do you teach them to kind of like catch that, observe that? Like, what's the strategy to coming out on the winning side of that?
First off, we have to acknowledge not all our thoughts. We need to start acknowledging our own conscious self and seeing what's buried beneath. And a good way of doing that is like meditation or like mindfulness, just being aware of things around us. So the person who told you needed Jesus, prayer is actually a form of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just gets us closer to our our internal world and internal thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always heard as humans, we are like transmitters and receivers. And a lot of times if people are super empathic, if you're neurodivergent on the autism, sometimes we can kind of be stuck. And I feel like a lot of people who are nonverbal experience this, but they're stuck on intake mode. They're stuck on the receiving mode. And I know what has really helped me was like understanding my frequency like that and be like, okay, if I'm feeling too much of other people's feelings, to just, in my mind, flip that little switch and be like, I'm projecting now, but not projecting, transmitting.
Oh, that makes sense.
So now I'm the tower that's transmitting things, and then that's when I'll say my my affirmations and stuff to myself. Okay, this is what I'm transmitting. I just envision like that whole, like the Tesla power tower of power, and all of just like the volts of electricity going out everywhere, but it's like my good vibes. And I imagine it as like a giant force field, right? Where like some of the lightning arms are like, ooh, that's a vibe that we're transmitting right now. That's a good vibe. Grab that one, pull it in. And then if it's a vibe that we don't like, then that little electricity bolt like zaps it far away. So we're bringing in the good and we're zapping away the bad. In the good, out the bad. But it's also important to understand, like, be able to describe why this feeling feels bad to me too, so that we know what would be the opposite. I think journaling is really good for that.
Absolutely. And
a kind of journaling that I like to do that's really helped a lot of my energy healing clients is like, say we're doing an inventory of like, anything that's ever pissed us off, right? Or things that we're disappointed in ourselves at, right? Well, the more we're holding on to that energy of that feeling, that action, that experience, the more of that we're actually going to attract to ourselves, right?
Yeah. So this is basic like cognitive behavioral therapy. But if you have a negative belief about yourself, you see the world through that lens. And so you will take in that information to like make sure your viewpoint does not change. So if you feel like you have no worth, anything that someone does that proves you have no worth is like really going to sink in. Versus someone who's like, oh my gosh, you're the best esthetician in the world, right? You won't like, you're like bounce that onto them and be like, no, that's not true.
Right. Yeah, so it's important to have like the awareness. And when we catch negative thought patterns, whether that's about ourselves, whether that's about others, whether it's about situations going on, you know, when we can release that onto paper, and then I always like to turn it into the next step, almost like columns, like an Excel sheet, but I don't even use Excel. I just use these I like to do it with note cards. So, because it helps it like color coordinate it in my brain. So, you know, we might have these red note cards and I'm writing down all like the negative things, right? And then the next note card would be like yellow. And the yellow note cards from that experience, I write down what I learned from that situation, right? So then we're turning that negative experience into like an asset, and it's something in our tool belt, something we can be like, oh, okay, now I know what to look out for next time. Or, you know, I'm so grateful that I learned this from this negative experience, because moving forward, I'm going to move like this, which has made me a better person. So you're turning, you know, what once may have caused you to feel like a victim and turning it into, you know, an asset in your tool belt, right?
That's a good idea, yeah.
And then I take the green note cards, and on the green note cards, I'll write a positive affirmation. Now, the thing with the green note cards is like, for the yellow and the red, there's always the same amount, right? But if we want to turn it into like a quick affirmation, like one of my favorite ones, you know, that's why people do prayer beads or rosaries or whatever. It's like that affirmation of the same thing, but you can do that with your affirmations, right? So, and one that I always like to use is like, it's easy for me to make good choices. 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 Over and over, however many times, whatever your favorite number is, do it that many times, right? So, and different religions have different numbers you're supposed to do stuff. I mean, 88 is like a really popular number in a lot of religious stuff. So you can turn all of these lessons that you learned in the yellow cards and to say, it's easier for me to make good choices, or I love and value myself, people in love and value me, like whatever that is. Then you can probably take a lot of these yellow cards, maybe 5 yellow cards will fit underneath one affirmation. And then I like to burn the red cards. So then I'm just, for me, it kind of completes that cycle. Also, a lot of times if you let things go from your life and you don't reprogram like the synopsis in your brain to want something else, it'll go find something exactly like that, just different. You know, so you a lot of times cutting the cords, you know, cutting the energies from people experiences is not enough. You got to rewire your brain and be like, okay, this was not acceptable because this is not an experience I want to have again. So how can I reprogram my brain to take that little firefly of grabbing things to go grab something else that is, you know, safer, more beneficial, more healthy for me.
And some people get whiplash from going from like negative statements to positive affirmations, and like they can't handle it. And
okay.
So I've just have a couple clients who've done that, and the easiest way to do that is like neutral statements if you're in between. Where like, oh, the world's terrible. The world rotates on the axis, and then you can move to the world is great, because that's like such a big change.
I love that. Oh yeah. That no, that's totally true. I can feel that in the most recent thing, and it's been a couple years that I caught myself doing, was like complaining about software and technology, and it's just like it's never gonna go away. You know, the longer I'm in business, the more of that I'm gonna have to use. And I literally had 3 energy healing clients that I'm like, okay, you know, we can't be speaking negative about ourselves like this. We have to sell. A lot of what we do, even if it's energy healing or just body sculpting, is like, you know, somebody's like, they come in like, I hate this about myself, I hate this about myself. No, we're not going to be talking like that. We're going to talk about like how grateful we are to have our bodies and like all the wonderful things it does for us. We can walk, we can drink water, we can breathe, even if it's those basic things like you're saying. And that's why we're here, because we want to love our body more and make it healthy because we love it. We're not coming here to Ella Bardo Esthetics and Wellness to change something because we hate it. That's got to be the first mental switch before we do anything. Yeah. And sometimes people really have to take a lot of time to do those affirmations on their own. You know, we can show you the way, but you got to put that work in. And it really is like a lifestyle change, whether that's mental health or aesthetic or working out. And that's why we're doing this series, because they all help each other out so much. you know. And sometimes if you're not in the right space to, like she was saying, to face something negative or traumatic head on, you know, doing things like working out, doing things like energy healing, doing things like removing the stuff from the face can kind of clear away some space so you can work with a mental health professional. But we do want to clear it all out, you know.
It can't take time.
It can take time. It can take forever, you know. But there's also like high functioning, you know. There's certain ways, like my brain is rewired this, and this, you know, clearing the clutter out, but also understanding it too. People don't want to look at themselves and like understand. Like I was very much in denial when they told me that I had autism. I'm like, what? I was like, I babysit autistic kids. What do you mean? I don't flap my arms and stuff. But years later, I was like, oh yeah, I did do that when I was like 5, just this kind of thing, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I was always very articulate at that time. This was like probably 2004. You know, most of what we knew about autism was more like the nonverbal kind, you know. But it also made sense why I was able to communicate with them, because we all have our own little frequency we can communicate on, like telepathically. I was like, oh, that's why I was the only one who could babysit them. But still, I was like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. But when I started to understand, hey, this is just my brain is wired a certain way, the brain that changes itself, I've talked about it all the time. It's one of my favorite books. I'm like, cool, well, it's just like looking at a circuit board. How is this wired? What is this? And derivatives, understanding things as a derivative. This is what we have. This is what we want, is the X factor. What do we need for this? Or what do we need to take out of what is currently going on? So for me, understanding situations like that, and a lot of people also don't know what they want. You know, what is the X factor? Sometimes we're solving for X a lot in energy healing.
It's okay not to know what you want, though.
Mm-hmm. But we can like take all the things and figure it out. And I don't like don't be in a rush to figure out what you want either, you know, because I feel like that way, if people put a timeline on certain things, like not everything has a timeline. Sometimes it's like just in divine timing. And then if you're rushing to come to a certain conclusion, a lot of times you're going to miss the road to the best conclusion.
And sometimes the conclusion we want cognitively is not the conclusion we actually end up with and what is best for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes what we want can have those weird filters on it from stuff in childhood, from CPTS, unprocessed trauma and stuff. And, you know, our brain could be wanting something, grabbing for something that is not good for us. I like the saying, you know, rejection is divine protection. But I do want to bring up that I feel like a lot of people will use this negatively about others, like in the dating world, like as if God was protecting you from this evil monster, when maybe like you guys were just not aligned.
Yeah, and alignment could be the random things like you really need a sweet treat after dinner and they are super into no sugar at all in the household.
Right, exactly. So then at the end of the day, it's best for both of you to just find a connection where you're more aligned. Yeah. You know, and people get so caught up in trying to, you know, turn a fish into a bird when it's like, look, it's a fish, it's going to be a fish, it's always going to be a fish. You got to love it because it's a fish and let it swim and stop trying to make it fly.
I like the saying that says, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's going to be dumb.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of, but I was like flying instead. And then, you know, unless ducks can't really swim, right?
Oh, they're just going to float around.
You know, certain things we can do, certain things you know, we're all blessed with the different talents and skills. And it doesn't mean you can't, like, overcome certain objections, but, you know, I think the more authentic that we are with ourselves, the more we learn about ourselves and others, you know, the better, more positive, you know, less harmful relationships and connections that we can have with other humans.
Absolutely.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. It sounds gibberish to you because you probably are trying to hide from your healing. It's okay, but you can stay here. Just being here, we're planting the little seeds, and maybe it'll make sense to you one day.
It can take...
Sending love.
Yes, always sending love. Healing is not linear, and everyone is on their own path.
Absolutely. Like, especially when, like, I hear anything from my accountant, my brain goes... Blah, 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 like, word. Yeah. Half of a sentence. And then maybe by the end of the day or after I sleep on it and wake up the next day, it's like because I just don't want to hear any of it, my brain finally organizes it and I'm like, that's what they meant.
And it can take time.
But certain things my brain is just like, no. And I'm like, look, we don't have a choice. We have to do this. So it just takes a little break longer for my brain to make it make sense. And that's going to be different for everybody. The same thing for a lot of my clients who are like engineers or they're accountants, the engineers for the flux. That's why both of our brains come together to make the magic happen.
Yeah. You need everyone to make the world turn.
Because I need them to like check the I's and dot the T's. And my brain is like, let's do this crazy thing you've never heard of before. I kind of got an idea how we can do it. But yeah, that's a lot of how the flux got built. No, we can't do that. Yes, we can. No, we can't do that. Yes, we can. Oh, we did it.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, we can't do that. Yes, we can. Okay, we can't do that. Yes, we can. Okay, we can't do that. Okay, we can't do that. Like, but we need both for like the checks and balances, you know? So that's why it's so awesome to surround yourself with people with different strengths and weaknesses, you know, so we can all help each other. I always want to be in a room with people smarter than me. That's why I invite people to the spa that are smarter than me in different things. We all have things we can learn together from each other.
I can learn so much from an accountant.
Oh my gosh. I want to learn as little as possible.
I just meant like it's not my expertise.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like it literally gives me a panic attack. Talk about something I have trauma from. Taxes. 1000%. Like for a couple years, I would have to have one of my friends. She does taxes, but just dealing with my CPA. See, I start to like stutter. She would like come to my house, and she lives in Fort Wayne, and like hold my hand so I wouldn't have a panic attack. Like,
a lot of people have a lot. Yeah, I don't know everyone's insecurity about money in the first place.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I don't understand what this is. And then sometimes they've been like, oh, I'd be freaking out, like, no. And they're like, that's a good thing. And I was like, oh, okay, why is it a good thing?
They're like, what is every day? Yeah.
But I am fully, like, aware that, you know, I'm always learning about it. And it's never something I'm going to be good at. That's why I hire other people to do it for me. I'm good at this. Like, I'll sound really smart on a lot of these live streams. Like, you hear me trying to talk about some accounting stuff or software. And I sound like I need to buy myself a short bus.
Really? Which is fair, because you don't know it's not your expertise.
So I always start this conversation. Like I just had an onboarding conversation with some software people today. And I'm like, full disclosure, I do facials. I'm really good at that. I've never even opened up the Google like with the Google Calendar we had I've never even had that uploaded to my phone ever in my entire life in almost 39 years. I don't know what that is. So you're starting with like, you know, level 1 here. But I'm here to learn and I'm trying to communicate. I'm trying my best.
I love a warm towel.
Mm-hmm. These ones have chamomile in it today.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to convince my husband we should buy a towel warmer for the house all the time.
You should. I have one in the bathroom, actually. And they have 2 different types of towel warmers. So I have one in the bathroom for like the hot, wet towels. And then I have the other one in, no, I left that one in Miami. I had another one in Miami where you can put hot, dry towels in it. And it kind of stands up like a umbrella holder or something.
I went on a couple dates with this dude who had a towel warmer, like, rack. You know, like those little, like, you put your towels.
Nice, yeah. Did it warm the whole towel or just where it was touching on the rack?
Or didn't do, like, I don't remember. This was, like, years and years ago.
She's married now. She's not on the market, so get that out of your little minds. Hola, ¿qué pasa, güey? I must be pretty good at yapping because you've been here for like 50 minutes already. It's okay. If you need some attention, you can put your comments in the comments. It's okay.
We all need attention.
You all need attention. If you need attention again, make sure that you're subscribed. Turn on all of your notifications. And then when you want to come be a troll again in the comments, we welcome you. It'll let you know right when we're online. Come crawl out of your bridge. You can come as you are. You can dress up if you want to. You can come in your pajamas. However comfortable. But it'll let you know when we go live. And then you can come get all your little attentions in the comment, okay? Love
Well, behavior
you.
is just a way to get attention or some mean meant.
Huh?
I said most of things we do are just a way to get our needs met if it's behaviors, so to speak.
Here, say it where they can hear you, because that was good. That was good.
Oh, I was going to say, most behaviors we do, if people are like, why are you doing this behavior, is because we have a need that's not being met.
And then if people don't know what that need is that needs to be met, like sometimes that can be a journey just figuring out what that is, right?
Yeah.
What are some strategies and advice on that?
Figuring out one, it's getting in a relationship sometimes with that behavior. Like, why are you doing this behavior to get you to where you are? Because all behaviors have a purpose. Such as, yeah.
Can you give us some examples?
Yeah. So, like, people who constantly, like, obsessively check where their significant other is on, what is this?
24 karat gold.
Oh.
And a little peridot, too. Peridot is like a really beautiful, bright green crystal that has magnesium. So it'll unstress your skin without relaxing it too much.
Oh, but like, so you constantly check where your significant other is on like Live 360 or something?
Okay, what's Live 360?
Oh, it's like it's one of those things where you tell people where you are at all times.
Okay, like sharing your location?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do that all the time because you're anxious about the relationship. So why are you figuring out why you're anxious about the relationship? Or because you feel like someone's cheating because you've been cheated on in the past, so like working on that.
Okay.
You just need, so what you want probably from your partner is like a validation that they're safe and trusting.
Okay.
Is one. Or kids when they throw like, I saw this the other day on Instagram or something. Someone was like, your daughter, it was like a parenting person who was like, your daughter keeps saying the fridge is dirty and you can't figure out why, but you just had a newborn kid and so you spend a lot of time with the newborn, but they were napping and you cleaned out the fridge with your like 3-year-old daughter, and so like they finally got connection, and so in their head like that's how they got connection. It's not that the fridge is actually dirty.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we're trying to validate our connection and like look for attachment.
That makes sense. Now, what are your thoughts on the whole, like, there's like a Buddhist theory that like attachment is like an illness. That's a little extreme with that, or it's just a very interesting concept to me.
It is. Are they talking? I think that's about material attachment, though.
No, to people too.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, literally,
like attachment is an illness, and I was like, okay, well, I like where we're going with this, just maybe not to that extreme.
Well, because until like 500 years ago, everyone lived in tribes of like 80 people.
Oh, that's true.
So
everyone was inbred.
So we all really need people to survive. Our brains are actually fascinating because we have mirroring neurons to like help co-regulate and stuff.
Mirroring neurons to do what?
So if you're like upset and you go to someone else, and dogs have it too, and cats because they're mammals.
Oh, so it's a mammal thing.
Yeah.
Monkeys and
So,
whales?
maybe, I don't know. I use dogs and cats because people have pets.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
We tend... Oops,
sorry.
You're good. We do like all these kind of things to like co-regulate with people through that.
To try to kind of match them on their energy, or...
Yeah, or if like you're upset and you go to someone for like a hug or like to talk it out, then being in a regulated state helps you regulate and process that emotion.
Oh, okay.
Right, because if you're upset and you go to someone who's also upset, you're going to just like work each other up.
Gotcha. You're like, balance me.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So this is my Tesla wand, high frequency Tesla wand.
What does it do? I said, what does it do?
So this is helping to move a lot of the lymph from the neck, getting all that blood flow back. This is also one that we use for like inflammation, acne.
You like want to poke all my holes. That thing on my face.
Is she being forced to have a conversation? You're not allowed to force people to do things, so pretty sure that's against the law. Definitely would not be live streaming you break the law, but I'm sure other people do it, but...
You can't do anything. You shouldn't do anything anyone doesn't want to do. That goes back to boundaries.
Back to boundaries. Thank you for bringing it back. See, that's what's so fun about the live, you know? It brings up different topics that we maybe wouldn't have even brought up.
No.
Yeah, no. So yes, everybody here who comes, not only do they want it, but they pay for it too. And we've got some amazing specials going on right now. So right now you can get this non-invasive face sculpting session for only the price of a half hour for a whole hour. You can get our Deluxe Red non-invasive body sculpting sessions. Usually a 30-minute session. You're going to lose between 3 to 5 inches instantly. Depending on how well you do your aftercare, self-care afterwards, can you lose even more and look even better over the next 72 hours. It also helps to get rid of cellulite. It helps to recover after injuries. It helps to recover after hard workouts. And it tightens skin. Cellulite is a big thing because not very many things help with that. And sometimes if you are cellulite prone like I am, then, you know, certain workouts can actually make it worse. So that's what I love about the body sculpting, because I really feel like I got a lot of, like, the aesthetic results from this. So when I am working out, I can focus on things that are not so externally focused, like more mobility, more flexibility. You know, I want to be able to run so long without dying. So I can focus more on, like, the wellness aspect of it compared to aesthetic. I love gold, baby. I love gold.
Me too. I like gold over silver and platinum.
Me too. I like to mix it up, but I do love gold. Gold kind of like matches my hair. Gold matches your hair too.
Yeah, my engagement ring and ring are gold.
Oh yeah, let me see. Yeah,
I don't have them on.
No. I love rose gold too. It's pretty.
It is. I feel like rose gold really had a moment in, like, the early 2010s.
It was the moment. Like, I mean, I think still. And so, like, I think that my laptop has got to be a 2021, 2022 maybe. And it was rose gold.
Oh yeah, I meant like everyone's engagement ring that was like that.
Oh, the engagement ring, yeah. I love some, like, a rose gold engagement, especially on my ginger friends. I'll help their boyfriends, or my friends help pick out for their ginger girlfriends, fiancés. I love on a ginger the alexandrite. So it's a pink crystal, and it's like, I don't know, it just fits with that skin tone so majestically. On some rose gold, and like, beautiful. Beautiful. My little cherry blossoms.
Something is stuck right there.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuck on this side of the face for a couple reasons. So 75% of the lymph is drained through the left side of the face. Also, in the United States and a lot of other countries, if there's sun damage or you drive on this side of the car, you're going to get more sun damage on this side of the face. If you actually look up, just go Google trucker sun damage.
Oh, I've seen that picture.
Yeah, I saw that right at the beginning of aesthetic school, and I was like, oh, okay. We're going to stop going to the tanning bed now. All I had to do was see that once. Now, with the exception of if I'm going down to Miami, or I'm going from somewhere like Indiana, the Midwest, where it's cold, and I haven't seen the sun in a long time, it's better to, like, go to the tanning bed for like 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, a little bit at a time, to kind of at least build up a base so you don't have one big burn.
Why not? I've never set foot in a tanning bed.
Huh?
I've never been in a tanning bed.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't burn, that's awesome.
No, I do burn.
Oh, you do burn?
Have you seen the color of my skin?
Yeah, I know. It looks like it burns. My sister is very, very, like, ghost white, and a lot of people also not understand that, like, you know, if you're going somewhere like that, or they think that, like, getting a spray tan counts as sunscreen. It does not. Like, I'll just get a spray tan instead, and, like, it's not about you looking a certain color. It's about you not getting severe 3-degree burns from the sun.
Don't you still need sunscreen?
Huh?
You would still need sunscreen if this.
I know, but you can't. I've had actual estheticians tell me that. Oh, it's fine. I'm gonna get a. I'm like, what?
That sounds so okay.
I personally, like, I'll burn, like, the first time and then I'll be fine. But if I do go, like, 4 minutes, skip a couple days, 5 minutes, up to, like, 6 minutes, then and then wear sunscreen, then I don't burn as bad. And on the décolletage area, especially if you're, like, top heavy, it's important to layer up on that. So I'll use the same one on my face, on my neck, on my shoulders, because that's usually stronger. And then I'll spray the body with a sunscreen over top of that. I've had many times where I didn't do both of those, and then my boobs look like giant angry tomatoes.
No.
So today on her, we're doing a little bit more of our like red carpet facial. So it's not as intense as like the sculpting with the magic wands. And this is like perfect to do like right before any event. Of course, we have to finish it with gold, baby, gold. Great question, Disology. This one does not hurt. Now, if we were going to use the magic wands and go deep today, that one would hurt. But this one is very relaxing. It's going to help get rid of any redness. It's going to help shrink the pores. It is going to help sculpt the face, but like in a gentle way. We're not doing any like heavy demolition today. Just going to get a little bit on that chin.
You can get rid of that chin if you want.
Oh, we are. We can still get a lot of great results when it comes to sculpting with our red carpet face without doing it too deep. Now, if we want to do a lot of like heavy transformation, then, and people want to start with this, it will take more sessions than if we're just doing like the intense sculpting. But that's okay. Everybody's different. Everybody has different pain tolerances. If you do like deep tissue, you will love the face sculpting. If you don't like deep tissue, you might not want to do like a whole series if we just only started off with the intense. So it might be good to do a small series of the red carpet face sculpting. That way the frequency after 6 sessions is breaking that down. And then when we're ready to do some heavy duty demolition day, it's not going to be as intense for you.
So how many sessions do people usually need?
So normally if you're over the age of 28, we recommend 12 sessions, twice a week for 6 weeks. That's going to do, like, imagine our bodies and our faces like a hoarder's house. So from the time you're in your mother's womb, that's when you start making those facial expressions, right? And depending on what's going through your mother's womb, we can go deep into the rabbit hole. That kind of stuff can like store up in our body.
Preverbal trauma.
Yeah. Oh, that's a thing?
Oh, have you not heard of this?
No, tell us about the preverbal trauma. Because I've heard of people like putting like the headphones on the baby belly and have it listen to like baby Einstein and Mozart. So the preverbal trauma, would that be the opposite of that? Like parents fighting when the baby's in vitro?
So there's some people who believe you can have trauma within the womb because like if the mom's really stressed, it passes, like cortisol gets passed on to the baby.
Oh yeah, I totally buy that.
However, preverbal trauma is a little bit of that, but also it's any trauma you have before you like have language skills.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have the words necessary to talk about what's going on.
Ah, interesting.
So, like,
and does that show up in a different part of the brain?
Not necessarily, but it shows up in weird ways because you have no language.
Oh, so you didn't know how to describe it then, so even as an adult you don't know how to describe it.
Because if you get into a car accident at 6 months old, like you literally, your language development center is not active.
So how do people, like they use hypnosis? Like how do people even unlock that was a memory so they can go about healing it?
So there's people who specialize in preverbal trauma.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
So you can do like IFS, internal family systems to get there. You can
what is that?
It's parts work. So like think of Inside Out and all the little motions.
Okay.
So that kind of stuff. You can get there. Somatic work can do that. Because it gets stuck in the body more.
I love the somatic. Obviously that makes sense because we do body sculpting. So a lot of the stuff that we do is like, surrendering to receive the somatic work.
Yeah. So that, and then EMDR has a couple of protocols for it as well.
Oh, nice. Especially if I'm working on women who've had like miscarriages or stillborns or something like that. before we even like start to work on stuff, I really like to make sure that they are in contact with, you know, a mental health professional, because it can really bring up, as we're breaking down that scar tissue in there, it can really bring up some big trapped emotions. And I've had it once where like this girl, she was weird, had amazing results on her face, on her cellulite. And I warned her about it before, but I should have taken that extra step to make sure that she was actually in contact with somebody who could help her process those emotions, you know, besides just letting them know. Because I could tell you the moment where I hit something in there, hit a piece of scar tissue, and she looked at me and like how whatever she was seeing was different. She hated me from that minute on. It was something that we were breaking up some scar tissue from one of her miscarriages, but she transferred that, you know, there's other emotions that can be transferred on to people besides the erotic transfer, and so like we were talking about last week.
Anything can be mother transfer, like if you really like have a therapist who's like who's an older woman.
Okay.
And you don't have a good relationship, that mother transfer can come out.
Oh, okay, yeah. I feel like I've definitely experienced the mother transference thing before. Or just parents in general. I've always had like adopted mothers and fathers since I was little.
Oh yeah.
Hi Ella, how are you? She can breathe.
We can do a whole entire conversation about Preverbal sometime if you want.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one for next time. I'm glad that got brought up. You guys are the best. I love the live streams. You never know what's going to come up.
No.
And we're amazing alchemists. So even when you're talking shit, we're going to turn it into value. That people will watch the live stream later and they're never going to know what you were saying. They're only going to find the goodness later. Because no one sees your comments after this. So if you want the attention of people seeing the comments, you have to join the lives when they're live. It's the only way. It's the only way. Or you can go back on all my live streams and leave comments on those too. But you got to like watch them and stuff, you know. Because that's where you're going to get the best trolling content. So anyway, I love you guys so much. We will be doing another live stream this evening sometime after 6 with Miss Amanda again. So that will be fun. And maybe some surprise live streams tomorrow. I don't know. But if you subscribe and turn on your notifications, hit that little bell, share this with your friends who would also have fun trolling me and my friends. Or even better, share this with your friends who like to learn, glow, and glow with us, because that's what we are about here at Ella Bardo Esthetics Wellness. So love you guys to pieces, my Ella Bardo besties. The Ella Bardo Bestie Club is totally free to join. All you have to do is subscribe and turn on all the notifications and invite all your besties. So my besties can be your besties and your besties can be my besties, and we can all be besties together. Okay?
One giant friend club.
Bonjour. Merci beaucoup.